Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to study a new lesson of grammar, the past continuous and the simple past, and we are going to know all the forms and the uses for both tenses. So here we have the different forms of the simple past and the past continuous. For example, let's have a look at the simple past form. We will take the verb to speak as an example of a regular verb. So in the simple past, I spoke. And for regular verb, as an example verb to work, I worked. So we add ed at the end of all verbs that are regular in the simple past. For the past continuous form, so we use the past form of the verb to be as an auxiliary verb, was or were, plus the ing form at the end of the main verb. For example, I was speaking, you were speaking, he, she, it was speaking, we were speaking, you were speaking, they were speaking. So it is necessary to use the verb to be in the simple past, was or were, plus adding the form ing at the end of the main verb. So now we will look at the uses of both tenses, the simple past and the past continuous. First of all, we need to look at the simple past uses. It is used to talk about completed actions, habits, and facts in the past. For example, I went to the cinema yesterday. It's a completed action in the past. So yesterday I went to the cinema. I always visit my grandparents in my summer holidays when I was a little boy. So I used to visit my grandparents in the past when I was a kid. So I am no more a kid now, I am a grown man now. So that's how it was in the past. I lived near Liverpool for a couple of years. In the past, I lived near Liverpool for some years, 2 or 3 years. So now I moved somewhere else. So those are 3 reasons we use the simple past. A completed action that had finished in the past, a habit you used to do in the past, and a fact, a truth that you know you used to do or to practice or in the past. What about uses in the past continuous? The past continuous is used to express interrupted action of a specific time as interruption and a parallel action. For example, I was watching TV when the phone rang. So at the moment, while I was watching TV, suddenly the phone rang. So first I was watching TV, then the phone rang. So the second action, which is the simple past, interrupted the first action, which is the past continuous. Last night at 7 p.m., so we are talking about a specific time. Last night at 7 p.m., I was having dinner. At that precise or specific time, I was having dinner. I can ask that person, what were you doing yesterday at 7 p.m.? or last night or yesterday at 7 p.m. I was having dinner. So here we are talking about a specific time. While she was doing her homework, her brother was playing football at the same time. So a parallel action. So she was doing her homework at that time as well. Her brother was playing football. So two actions at the same moment. Here we have the simple past and the past continuous as an example in the diagram. Look here, we have 6:30, 7:30. At the middle of that 1 hour, it means from 6:30 to 7:30, there is quarter to 7:15. So let's see what did happen during that time. Okay, so at 6:30 to 7:30, I was eating dinner, but suddenly something happened. So at 7:15, someone called me. So he interrupted the action I was doing. So I was eating. So I stopped from eating dinner because someone called me. I was eating dinner when it was 7:15. Someone called me. I started eating my dinner before that time. So it means that the action of the past continuous is always the first to happen, and then the action of the simple past. I was eating dinner when he called me last night. Or we can say, when he called me last night, so we must put a comma here. When he called me last night, I was eating dinner. The meaning stayed the same. So there is no change in the meaning. There is no change in the schedule of time. So it always meant that the past continuous is the first action and the simple past is the second action. So when he called me last night, at the moment he called me, I was eating dinner. It means that I was eating dinner before he called me. Here, another example of the interrupted action, past continuous and the simple past. So look at the 4 pictures we have here. So Jack was reading a book. What happened after? The phone rang. And then Jack stopped reading. So he answered the phone. 4 actions. But there are 2 tenses. The past continuous and the simple past. He was reading first. Then the phone rang. So the simple past interrupted the action of the past continuous. Jack couldn't finish his reading because the phone rang. So always the first action is the past continuous, then the simple past. That's why we say interrupted action. So when we use both simple past and the past continuous together, it shows that the past simple action happened in the middle of the past continuous action while it was in progress or while it was still in the process of happening. So, for example, while I was studying, I suddenly felt sleepy. So I was studying, but then I felt sleepy because I was so tired I couldn't finish my studying. So I felt sleepy. So I need to sleep. So past continuous is always the first action, as well the simple past is the second action. We often use these tenses to show an action interrupting another action. I broke my leg when I was skiing. So I was skiing first, then I broke my leg. I couldn't finish my practicing my skiing because I broke my leg. So even we started the sentence with the simple past, but it is always known that the simple past interrupted the action of the past continuous, even we haven't started the sentence with when or while. Here we have the uses of while and when with the simple past and the past continuous. So when is a short action, past simple tense. So the verb, it means that the verb should be in the simple past. While is a long action and the verb should be in the past continuous. So let's see some example here. I was watching TV when Jim knocked the door. I was watching TV. That movie is going to be for a long time, maybe 1, 2, 3 hours. But suddenly, at the moment I was watching TV, Jim knocked the door. So I was watching TV is a long action. Jim knocked the door is a short action. I was watching TV when Jim knocked the door. Let's see if we start the sentence with when or while. When Jim knocked the door, comma, I was watching TV. So here we started the sentence with when. And so when we start the sentence with when or while, we have to put a comma in the middle of the sentence. So when Jim knocked the door, that is a short action, comma, I was watching TV, which is a long action, because I started watching TV before Jim knocked the door. Jim knocked the door while I was watching TV. So while here is in the middle. So there is no need to put a comma here. While I was watching TV, comma, Jimmy knocked the door. While I was watching TV, Jim knocked the door. So, comma is in the middle of the sentence and while is at the beginning of the sentence. So, as we said before, when with a short action, while with a long action. Thank you for your interest and listening. Good luck.